ABC 17 News at 5 on KMIZ starts now.
4 people are in custody after gunshots were fired in a Jefferson City neighborhood. Good evening, I'm Daniel Wynn.
And I'm Jillian Fertig. Police are still investigating the shots fired incident they say happened on Monroe near Atchison Street. That's where we find ABC 17's Joe McLean. He's joining us live. Joe, you were able to confirm some details with police?
I was, Jillian, and they're still investigating. As you said, they're investigating this incident, but they have confirmed with us that 4 people are in custody after today's shooting. Here's what investigators are confirming with us right now. The shooting, they say, happened around 12:30 this afternoon, and witnesses say they heard 6 to 8 shots ring out early this afternoon. Witnesses also reported seeing a gray car in the area, a car that police attempted to pull over when they arrived on the scene. When they tried, however, police say the gray car sped off but stopped shortly after in the area of Southwest and Ellis Boulevards. Now, a gun and what appears to be narcotics were found in the car, and the drivers and passengers were arrested. The driver and passengers were arrested. Captain Shoemaker with the JCPD says the police department is conducting a full investigation.
We're talking to a lot of people. Members of the community action team are assisting us as well, talking to residents, talking to other possible witnesses. And so the story is really just beginning at this point.
Now, although police found several shell casings right here in this area, they say there were no injuries in this incident this afternoon. Reporting live in Jefferson City, Joe McLean, ABC 17 News.
All right, thank you very much, Joe.
Well, tonight, Columbia police say a man is facing charges related to an armed home invasion. Police arrested 19-year-old Isaiah Anderson last night.
The armed break-in happened in the 1600 block of Parkside Drive. ABC 17's Taylor Petrus is live there tonight. And Taylor, Columbia police are still looking for a second suspect.
They are, Daniel. In just the last hour, I checked in with the Columbia Police Department, who say they have still not made an arrest for that second male suspect from last night. They say the victims of this home invasion were able to hold Anderson down until police arrived on scene. Just after 8 o'clock Tuesday night, Columbia Police responded to the 1600 block of Parkside Drive for an armed home invasion. Police say 2 men, one identified today as 19-year-old Isaiah Anderson, forced their way inside an apartment.
In interviews with Anderson, he did state post Miranda that he was there to commit a robbery.
Court documents say Anderson admitted to police he had been watching the apartment for weeks, believing it had valuables inside. Anderson knocked on the apartment door and said he was a neighbor. One victim opened the door, and Anderson forced himself inside with a gun.
The subjects did brandish at least one firearm. One suspect fled the scene on foot, while the victims that were inside the residence did detain the other suspect.
Police say Anderson assaulted one victim by hitting him in the head with a gun. I spoke with one of the victims today while they were in the process of moving out of the apartment. Columbia police are continuing their search for the second suspect after he fled the scene last night.
There was a canvass of the area conducted. The search did not yield any results, so we weren't able to apprehend the second suspect. Our detectives are still actively working to identify and apprehend that suspect.
Anderson is charged with armed criminal action, first-degree burglary, first-degree attempted robbery, and receiving stolen property. He's being held in the Boone County Jail with a $100,000 bond. Reporting live in Columbia, Taylor Petrus, ABC 17 News.
Thank you, Taylor. If you have any information on the whereabouts of the suspect still on the run, CPD asks you to call them or Crime Stoppers to remain anonymous.
Well, we're in for a weather roller coaster over the next few days with temperatures warming up, then cooling back down again. ABC 17 STORMTRACK meteorologist Jessica Quick is in for Sharon Ray, and she's tracking those changes in your forecast. Hi, Jessica.
Hey, Jillian. Yeah, it's another nice evening here in mid-Missouri. Another temperatures are actually still in the 70s, so another nice night for us. We are 73 right now in Sedalia, 77 at the Lake of the Ozarks, clear skies, and that'll be the case as we get into the day tomorrow. The temperature's actually going to warm up a little bit thanks to southerly winds. We'll see a wind shift overnight, and that's going to bring in that warmer air starting overnight tonight. So as you're heading out the door, temperature's still around 70 over the next hour or so. We'll see clear skies, light winds shifting to the southeast after midnight, and and temperatures still falling into the 50s. But it'll be a mild night with temperatures close to our seasonal averages at 48 in Columbia, 47 in our capital city overnight, and 45 at the Lake of the Ozarks with winds out of the northwest. But tomorrow we'll see those shift as this high pressure continues to push to the south. That's going to keep the clear skies in the area throughout most of the day. We'll see increasing clouds though by late afternoon thanks to a cold front to our north. It's mainly going to be dry. I don't see a lot of moisture with this, so most of us are going to stay dry with the exception of a few clouds. The bigger story with that will be the changing temperatures. We're going to see temperatures jumping up to near 80 degrees tomorrow, which is about 10 degrees above average for all of mid-Missouri. But as we get to the evening, we'll notice a big temperature change as we get to early Friday morning. When you wake up on Friday morning, you'll want to bring a jacket. It'll be cool with temperatures in the lower 40s to start out the day. And our temperatures don't rebound a whole lot during the afternoon. We'll only see highs in the lower to middle 60s. In the evening, we'll be cool. For high school football, temperatures starting out at 53 at 7 o'clock. We'll have mostly clear skies, but by the end of the night, temperatures already falling into the 40s, and it will be a cool start to the weekend. There's your ABC 17 STORMTRACK 7-day forecast. A high of 79 degrees tomorrow, but a big temperature change by the time we get to early Friday morning with temperatures starting out in the low 40s. And you'll notice those temperatures only making it into the 60s for the weekend. So coming up, I'll show you what areas could see some freezing temperatures on Saturday morning, and I'll break down your weekend forecast.
In a developing story tonight, police in northwest Missouri are still on the scene of a hostage situation.
Our sister station reports multiple agencies are still on that scene at the Motel 6 in St. Joseph. KNPN reports the suspect is a former employee of a care facility, but they say police have not yet confirmed this information. KNPN says the suspect took another care facility employee hostage this morning and took her to the Motel 6. The incident had the northbound lanes of Interstate 29 temporarily shut down, and MoDOT is asking drivers to avoid that area tonight. Motel guests and nearby businesses have been evacuated. KNPN says the situation all started after reports of a shooting earlier this morning.
The State House committees are wrapping up another hearing tonight on the investigation into Planned Parenthood. The Children and Families Committee and Ways and Means Committee met at 1 this afternoon. This hearing is continuing the investigation into claims Planned Parenthood has sold organs from aborted fetuses for profit. It comes a day after the nonprofit announced it is no longer accepting any sort of payment to cover the cost of programs that make fetal tissue available for research. All new tonight on ABC 17 News at 6:30. We'll break down the discussion from today's hearing, and we'll hear from a representative about her thoughts on those hearings.
A grand jury has filed charges against two mid-Missouri city officials. Michael Plummer is the marshal of Dixon, Missouri. His wife, Sheila, was the city's collector. Dixon is about an hour south of Jefferson City. Documents ABC 17 News obtained accuse the couple of covering up evidence in the police department and stealing from taxpayers. They are facing a total of 16 counts filed under a sealed indictment that was just made public today. The case started following a state report from the Missouri auditor. More charges could yet still be filed. An ex-Columbia police officer was back in court today. The city of Columbia trying to repeal a judge's decision and get him reinstated after the city fired him. Rob Sanders was fired back in 2011 after the city decided he used excessive force on an inmate. Sanders says he was only following police protocol and training and says the excessive force ordinance is too vague and ambiguous. Oral arguments took place in the courtroom at Mizzou's Law School this afternoon. Coming up tonight on ABC 17 News at 6, we'll hear from Sanders about what he hopes will come from the hearing.
A former bridal shop owner is now convicted of stealing in Cole County. This morning, a judge announced Ann Metternich is guilty. You'll recall the former Victoria's bridal shop owner was charged with stealing tuxedos from another business. Metternich waived a trial by jury in March, and her bench trial started in April. The judge reviewed the case for about 6 months before he ruled. He's now scheduled a December sentencing date. This man is now charged with making a terrorist threat in Boone County. Court documents ABC 17 News picked up say 51-year-old Ruben Espinoza called in a threat to an employee at University Hospital last week. They say Espinoza left a voicemail threatening to kill people at University Hospital because he couldn't get his medicine. Authorities said an investigation led them to Espinoza, who admitted he was upset because he didn't get the medicine he needed. Court documents say Espinoza said the lack of medication made him black out and not remember what he said in the call.